Hey guys, MoiDawg here, and today we're taking a look at the latest dev blog, The Road to Fallujah Part 2. If y'all aren't aware, Fallujah is slated for a September 2nd release, and just saying that seems unbelievable for a map that's been in development for roughly 3 years. This blog post goes over some new behind-the-scenes pictures of map development, in-engine posts of the map itself, and some awesome new cinematic shots that we'll break down to see some exciting new weapons and vehicles that will be in Fallujah as well. But before I dive into that, I do want to remind everyone that I stream a lot of squad on Twitch, at twitch.tv/MoiDawg. As squad lead, run vehicles, and as a squad official partner, we frequently have unique insights and early access to things you can't see anywhere else. The streams are a lot of fun, and we also have viewer game days where I lock a squad and invite you guys for an afternoon of gaming. So whether you want to hop in game, chat about something, or simply watch some squad live, I hope to see you there. Over the years, Fallujah has been hyped to be the penultimate squad experience. Combined arms fighting with tanks, helicopters and infantry, close quarters combat with the storied US Marine Corps, and dense urban environments not seen anywhere since Battlefield 2. Now, I'm not going to quote the entire dev blog word for word, but I do feel like the introduction is worth sharing since it explains the reasoning behind the long wait for the release of Fallujah. Quote, "When work was originally started on Fallujah, Squad was a very different game than it is today. The map went through several revisions during this time, trying different approaches to technical problems, different inspirations and styles for the layout, and various processes for actually building the level and assets themselves. During all of this experimentation and learning, while visual quality and technical expertise advanced considerably, the overall design of the map itself slowly degraded due to all the experiments and processes being worked on. Eventually, it was decided that the map in its most recent iteration simply wasn't up to the level of quality we wanted, and that if we continued to develop it out, the end product wouldn't do justice to a setting that we hold very dear in many of our memories. With this in mind, we began a full restart of the layout design for Fallujah. While none of us wanted to wait this long to be able to show off our hard work, we're confident that the end product we eventually arrived at was very much worth the wait, and we hope you agree." End quote. Although it's been teased for years now, it seems like Fallujah has definitely been worth the wait, as the initial cinematic shots look amazing. Taking a closer look at each of these pictures, we can also piece together new factions and how the map should play out when it is released. In this highway picture, we can see a small convoy of MEA soldiers in the Sahir cars followed by a tank. Taking a look at the cars themselves, we can see the first one is most likely a 2-seat Logi variant, while the one behind it is obviously a machine gun variant. However, if you look closely, it appears that the barrel of the machine gun is in fact the MG3, behind the usual armored turret we see on Gigabytes. Now we can also see a bipoded G3 and drum mag on the soldier in the passenger seat of the front car, which would most likely be the faction's auto rifleman class if the MG3 is restricted to machine gunners. Additionally, this picture also gives us a pretty good look at the different MEA models themselves, with potentially berets being restricted to squad leaders, not unlike the Canadian squad leaders, and maybe even crew leaders having the goggles as well as this beret. In the back of the column, we see the T-72 with reactive armor, commonly seen right now in the Middle East. In this next picture, we see what looks like MEA troops pinned down inside of a shopping center taking fire from a Bradley. Once again, we see the G3 with drum mag, but we can also make out the MG3 in the back as well, and also the RPG-29, which until now has been restricted to unconventional forces, the irregular militia and insurgents. If we take a look at the header of the dev blog, we can also see that the Marines are actually on the streets of Fallujah, not the US Army as shown in the cinematics. In the background, we see the LAV-25 firing, as well as a Black Hawk flying overhead. In the front, it looks like the front Marine is holding an M16, while the Marine on the left has what could be the M38 DMR, an optimized marksman rifle M27 variant with a Leopold optic. Now, this could be the ACOG the Marines currently use as well on their standard M27 IIRs, but the profile does seem to match the longer Leopold. Behind him, we can also see what looks like an underslung grenade launcher, and on the right, we see what looks to be the M240 machine gun. In this one picture alone, I cannot wait to get my hands on the Marines, even though according to the Trello board, we won't see them in-game until December. Between these pictures, however, we see a whole bunch of different areas to fight in. Outskirts with traffic jams and blown up cars, bridges, overpasses, crowded streets, and even dense alleyway fighting. Now back to the map design, the dev blog also goes in depth on how the city itself has been designed to reflect the real world, with high density buildings and tall rooftops, residential neighborhoods, farmland, industrial zones, and even parks and palace grounds all mixed together. We also get a nice overview on specific points of interest, which could very well be capture points in-game. Speaking of game modes, based on these cinematics, it looks like we have already a combination of different factions that can be included on the map. Now this picture shows the army looking for an IED in the sandstorm. To me, this reads one of the layers will be US Army versus Insurgents, since it's not looking like the MEA faction will actually have IEDs, as that's more restricted to unconventional forces. In addition to US Army versus Insurgents as a layer, it also looks like we'll have US Army versus MEA if we go back and look at that Bradley shooting into the shopping center with MEA troops pinned down. Now it also looks like we'll be having an MEA versus Insurgent layer, with this photo showing a mortar barrage hitting an MEA compound, and we can see Insurgent troops on the houses firing into the compound itself as well. With the MEA, US Army, US Marine Corps, and Insurgents, it looks like we'll have plenty of layers to keep this map fresh. Finally, the devs also go in depth in making sure that Fallujah looks like a real place and not some generic city. Real-world images were used for building and street design, and the environment makes it look like the place has actually been lived in. Overall, to me, this map is looking to live up to the hype, and the biggest question remaining is to see if the optimization will not just allow for our current 80-player servers, but the soon-to-come 100-player ones as well. But what do you guys think? Is Fallujah looking like the map we were promised years ago? Are you hyped to roam the streets with the new MEA faction and Marine Corps? Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But that's it for me. See you next time. Peace.